And then Patrice calls in the middle of that again, and we start discussing it for an hour. Then I go to bed, and this is where I say every today. My dream was I was rocking. I was one of those Illuminati guys. I was being swept away, secret meeting, and I had like people. I don't even know who they were, but they needed to get to me because I was up to no good. I was like running the world, but I wasn't the main guy. I was like just one of these guys. Oh yeah. It was like an action movie because that's right. Woke up in the middle of the night in a cold sweat. My girl's like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "Oh, nightmares." And we went back and got the parts of that you put in my head.
There are useful ingredients to be gathered here, I'll wager.
Yeah, you'll be getting it.
I tried to call you, motherfucker. I don't know what you was doing. I haven't called you enough to know to leave messages. Like, I don't know. So I just called, try to maybe see a missed call. Yeah, I was trying to tell you to watch it.
But the Obama
deception is
perhaps we might add a thief to our ranks.
It's not saying that Obama is magically awful, right? It's just, and it goes back to Bush. It's not that they're. It's just it's more like the presidential deception. It's just it's just what it is.
It's horrible. The system's going to change because Obama's in there. That's basically what we're saying.
Yeah, right. So the whole Obama president now.
Lucky us. That's worth taking.
Like, it don't even mean nothing to people like, well, he's going to do something or not. But it's so big that I don't know if the president knows what it is. I don't know. Because he's looking like he wants to quit. Like, when I'm looking at him now, that's what they look like. Can I get out of this?
I just wanted to campaign and get the job.
I
don't want to do the job.
We shall have to find a way to reach it.
Because it will destroy the planet Earth.
Because he was taught what it's all about. Like, we noticed he looks tired finally. He looks grayer all of a sudden.
Master, would be prudent to rid yourself of any excess items.
His job in the movie, what his job is for them, for the people.
The Illuminati?
No, not the Illuminati. They never said
the Bill Burr group.
The Bill Burr group. The Bill Burr group.
The Bill Burr group is running the world.
They're running the world, and they are comfortable saying the Bilderberg.
Yeah.
But they're not comfortable saying the Illuminati. But people are comfortable that the Bilderberg group exists. And Obama, all his job is to do is keep people loving him. That's his job. His first mission is making sure people keep loving him.
He apparently is the guy that needs to be in there right now.
Yes.
For this movie.
And Alan Trees, man, is making that stuff. According to this movie, I'm not comfortable. I'm watching this movie.
Yeah, you gotta keep propaganda close.
You
gotta keep that word close at hand when you start discussing.
Yeah, Alan
We've earned ourselves a pat on the back.
Movie. One of the biggies at the Federal Reserve Bank, who, by the way, has nothing to do with the Feds. I
always thought the Federal Reserve had something to do with America. I learned.
Absolutely not.
No, I did learn that recently. It's got nothing to do with it.
It's a bank like fucking Wamu.
I'll carefully conserve my strength and endeavor to survive every battle by way of sound strategy and defensive
A
tactics.
lot of money. How can they owe money to
In
themselves?
the movie, it goes, it's basically as Federal Express.
Yeah, that's what they said. And basically, we owe this bank a lot of money. When did the country go bankrupt before this movie?
1933.
Three, I think, yeah.
It went bankrupt.
So when the Federal Reserve Bank prints up money, that cost has to come from somewhere.
Yes.
And they're only lending this paper with the denominations on it.
They're lending it to us.
And then it's got to be paid
I
back
shall be proud to serve you, Arisen.
To
the Bill Burr Group.
So Let me tell you what Alan Greenspan said in the thing. It's so much shit that is like I couldn't even go in order. They ask him, they go, hey man, what's the relationship
If ever you've
between
need of an ear to
President
listen.
and the Federal Reserve Bank? He went like this. He goes, I don't know. Like, don't have to be a relationship. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't. No big
Speak
deal
your will,
on
and I'll see it done.
Nothing he can say or do or
Where
think
to
that could
next,
affect
Arisen?
the Federal Reserve Bank.
Right.
There's absolutely nothing. You go back into. Now I watched one called The Zeitgeist.
Oh boy.
It's
Zeitgeist.
rather
right?
You spent the whole day. You went from movie to movie.
A fitting reward for a rigorous
Get
search.
back up and have my
And
face
educate yourself.
and have my face dunked into conspiracy theories.
You're gonna just keep digging in, right?
So the Zeitgeist starts off with I'm sticking with government right now. Zeitgeist starts off with the lie of Jesus Christ, the whole thing. So I just said I can't get into this one.
Yeah, this one's deep.
This one goes into why we went into the Revolutionary War, which is all about money. Which is the fact that when the people left England, they printed their own money. They created their own.
But I thought it was to get freedom of religion and speech.
It's really dark.
Yo,
fuck that. This shit is dark.
In America, nothing. They printed their own money. England said, cancel that shit. No, you can't have your own money. So now that they don't have their own money, they had to take loans from England at
Tis
percentage.
dark as pitch,
So
master.
they go,
Pray, light
go
your
be
lantern afore I
enslaved.
trip.
So they go, fuck it. The Revolutionary War was them going, fuck it.
And I'm paying you.
I'm not paying you, nigga. And they go, we'll fight to the death before I keep paying you this bullshit. That's when they won the freedom. But right after that, these people, J.P. Morgan Chase, allegedly, Rockefeller, allegedly, according to this movie, fucking Rothschild. It's mind-blowing who, during the Napoleon War, whatever war that was, the French Revolution or whatever.
Yeah, one of those.
Rothschild found out because he had family over there that Napoleon lost. And this is before Google.
Yeah, you couldn't just Google.
So he found out a day early that the war was lost by Napoleon. He put a word out that Napoleon won the
A
war.
good sleep does
And
wonders.
everybody was horrified
Come,
that
we've
England
much
lost
to be getting on
the
with.
war.
Yeah.
Took everything out, everything plunged, England was worthless. Rothschild goes in with $1.50 and buys England. Finds out Napoleon lost. England's worth billions now.
Now everything
Hang
is
in
back
there,
up.
master. I'm coming to
And
assist.
it's dirt cheap.
Dirt cheap. Now it's worth. Mr. Rothschild owns England. Owns the world. Now, America fought their way out of this. This is the spirit of where America came from.
Yeah.
Now we're living under it right now. Now you get up to Woodrow Wilson signing the Federal Reserve Act.
1913.
1913.
What manner of treasures will I find today? I can scarce wait to find out.
America collapses. Bankrupt.
Yeah, that was
The
the
country
big
is bankrupt.
They have to borrow more money from the feds.
So the feds, which has nothing to do
Has
with
nothing to do.
the federal government.
They have to borrow more money. This is why, again, a whole nother side shit where they start.
I am
wars
honored
on
to be called to your
purpose,
side, Arisen.
so they can just keep lending money. Give a fuck. So in 1936, as collateral for the new money that they're lending, the big bankrupt money, they create Social Security and 401ks and all that shit as collateral for the money they're lending now.
And that's
How are you gonna pay this money back?
Like, well, we
So
got
this is
people
Mel.
now giving money and
The scars left by the dragon's assault are plain to
that'll
see.
pay you back.
And here's
May
the
have to
thing,
walk
it's
through the streets would help
never
jog your memory.
based on
When the
force.
Arisen appears,
It's
so
never
too does the
based on
dragon.
pistol to your head
It is
force.
an immutable
It's
truth
based on
as well.
we got people who
That's
think
just what I was
when they're
thinking.
60
We've got
they
all
can
that.
have this money.
Shame I don't count it against the foe. We're all in the same boat.
Really,
I can look forward to power.
at this moment.
Glad to be of
It's
service.
something that is now it's a Ponzi scheme that can possibly be paid off to everybody when they reach Let's change America. Let's change America. Next guy in there, ready to go. The guy, whatever they needed to do, and they brought up the fact that the last JFK, and he was trying to go. And guess what happened to him? This whole thing. I hear it's something splitting headache one day. And they said that every president that ever stood up to this is no longer with us before he was not supposed to be no longer with us. And only one that made it through was Thomas Jefferson. Really? That early? Yeah. Like they were pulling those shenanigans? The only one that didn't. They tried to kill him a few times, but back in the day they didn't have laser beams. I hope he was going to sniff the arsenic tea that you left by his bedside. Sneak your musket in and blow it. You gotta wait till he's at Broadway watching this shitty show with his wife. And get it right in the head. And I guess you're hoping the right curtain too. Musket ball took his face off, and he didn't. He's the only one that stood up against it. That didn't. I didn't even know they tried to kill Thomas Jefferson. Yeah, a few times.
I've a selection of wares
that went wrong. No. I'm repeating shit like a parrot. I gotta go find out. Black slave girl with a bear trap in her pussy or some shit. Yeah, but that's what we all do. Is we just turn into parrots. You read one political.
George, please.
That thing is. You think you know.
Hope to see you again.
I just repeat what I say. It's just.
Nothing caught your eye?
I just believe it because we live in that
Let's
time.
hope there's aught worth our coin next time.
What they've tried
The
to
Arisen is
uphold
ever
since
prudent in
World
the
War
application
I
of coin.
Is a one world thing. Yeah. The last bit of it is I think China. Because they're trying to get they canceled Europe. The EU is no borders. Yeah. But they signed a thing called the North American Union, and there's no borders here. I mean, Canada, Mexico, and the U.S. It's borderless. That's why no one's talking about immigration and sneaking across the border, because they want one big thing. So that they can control one big thing. They're canceling all this horse shit.
One World Bank.
One World Bank to make one world,
Well, that would be a pretty powerful
was the first one they did it to. Dad cancel all these funky African countries. We need one Africa.
Those borders were changing every week
Yeah,
anyway.
fuck all that. EU, and then China, and I don't think China's involved quite yet, but they're the next one that we got to figure out.
Well, that story came out how China's they're getting a little edgy about how much money we owe them, because they are in possession of a lot of our dollars, and if something happens to our dollars, they're shit out of luck. So they're starting to say, hey, we need a little security here. We need some back this shit up. Yeah. Hey, can you back this shit up? Watch out! Like, I'm going to get everybody out of Iraq and this, and then they're showing, unfortunately, they should have waited. Yeah. They're saying people in the first 30 days, he's trying to change his tune, and they're basically saying he's the biggest liar of all.
Which pissed off Anthony.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. It's like this one. That's why I wanted to call you.
Yeah.
They didn't really close. Oh, yeah, they didn't close it.
Yeah, well, explain that to real fast before you go to the gun law.
The Guantanamo thing was just a promise to think about closing it in a year. Closed it. I promised that I might close that shit
In a year.
According to the movie.
Right, because from what I've heard, it sure sounds like he's closing this shit down, but
it's also being told that they're sending these prisoners elsewhere to get the crap beat out of them. They're not just letting them go and then like, all right, go on with your lives.
It's covered internationally.
Right. They're just kind of moving them to another place.
Send them to like Saudi Arabia where they can...
According to the movie.
Right.
According to the movie by Alex Jones.
And what about the gun laws?
Who also did Endgame, by the way.
I'm very interested in Obama's stance and the new Attorney General. and Hillary and all that on gun law.
Well, here's the thing about gun laws, my friend.
According to the movie.
According to the film. we are now a standing army. We are absolutely a standing army.
Yes.
Which means, it means that our soldiers are now going to be slowly deployed all over the planet. Very close to China and Russia.
That's crazy.
Very close, sending everyone everywhere.
That's crazy because Obama said that he wants to pull back.
Well, he put 30,000 extra troops in Afghanistan. According to someone else, I wasn't there. I didn't see what happened. Now, ultimately, though, what they're doing, and I forgot the name of the website, and essentially is and Rahm Emanuel said it in the movie. He goes, look, eventually, America, being an American is not a privilege. It is it's not a right, it's a privilege.
Mm-hmm.
And you are to service. They use this word service. They use New World Order and service.
Service.
A lot. Service. You are to service this country. And they're trying to implement that kids from 18 to 25 be required to service the country. Required. They don't get into what the service is. But basically, according to this film, that they need more police. So they're trying to create a civilian army for when the shit goes down and there's martial law. They need people. And not everybody is going to come in and go, hey, I volunteer. So they're going to have service. And what they're doing, the first phase is to cancel the Second Amendment.
Right.
So that there's only the fucking police running around with guns. People can't have guns to protect themselves. They have to take away that shit so that they can go find out who's registered. And there'll be criminals with them, but criminals will end up being our friend if this goes down.
That's always been the way, any kind of fascist state has worked. They take away the civilians.
They use that fucking term a couple of times.
Yeah.
Shit is fascism.
And that's one of the biggies as far as the NRA goes. They're saying all this stuff like this is what goes down. Usually when there's a gun law that's passed, if you're grandfathered in, you're fine. Let's say you have a rifle that's considered an assault rifle, and then they ban assault rifles. They don't come to your door for the most part and take your weapons away. They did that in a few places where they outlawed handguns, like Chicago and stuff, where you had to take your pistol and hand it into the police department. But for the most part, they haven't knocked on your door and said, we're coming for your guns. But that is something that is definitely a potential act under Obama and this attorney general. They've got a lot of anti-gun people in there, anti-Second Amendment people.
That if they're going to take guns, and again,
the ruler of Vermont,
according to this film, that they want to take the phase one is to take these. Phase two is to slowly implement service.
Would you be willing
and Ron Manson is saying it. Slowly implement service. And they don't say nothing else but fucking service.
So there's this youth army
that
kind of...
Last I saw, he was having a drink at the inn.
That's just kind of what, and their job will be to keep the people from fucking saying fuck you.
When they go, all right, listen, here's what we need to do. We're just going to take your money and we're going to just outright come in here with this V for Vendetta kind of thing. With this, what's the other movie that's like V? Like where these fucking movies, with this They Live kind of thing.
Right, yeah.
When they come in and they just lower the boom and say, here's our plan, but it's too late for you to do anything stupid. They're going to have motherfuckers, making sure that they'll shoot a motherfucker in the face.
Service.
Service. As soon as you go, wait a minute, JP Morgan Chase, I want my money. And they'll have somebody in that motherfucker to blow your face off.
So we're sorry about that. Go to your home that you can't afford.
Fast forward to why Obama was picked. This movie saying he was groomed for 30 years.
Yes, according to this film. Because the globalization has a different phase. It ain't white no more. If you want to go global, most global is not white. It's just Australia and England and America. It's full of but everybody else, he's there to make everybody else feel like they're possibly a part of this globalization.
Danny just ruined the whole little world of intrigue through this movie for me by telling me it is produced by the same guy that produced Loose Change, which I see.
Wait, his name is Alex Jones? Did Alex
one
Alex
of the
Jones
biggest hunks of shit, fake
I'm not
propaganda bullshit.
I believed in, he did Endgame too. And look, the propaganda, you could believe if Rush Limbaugh does a well-done documentary,
yeah,
I'm sure you can go, whoa. And you lean toward what you believe.
This ladder looks sturdy enough to climb.
The 9/11 thing,
Perhaps new discoveries await us above.
Yeah.
About 9/11 is this. And again, forget 9/11 in terms of
Tis a
what
chest.
happened, actually what happened.
Let us hope your
Talking about the
curiosity will be
background.
rewarded.
World War I, we could not get involved with America would not want to get involved. No one
My
supported
head hurts
World
just
War
thinking
I.
about
Us being in
it.
World
Oh,
War
have you some business?
they
No,
sprung-
I'm not. I'm in a
They
positive.
had this
So when I
conversation.
had time, well, as luck will be
It's
ashamed
supposed
to
to be
return
on record.
empty-handed
this
after
is
coming
like
all this way. What?
To another dude and
You
said,
suppose there's
"Listen,
no
you're not-
hot
you can't
things
have the one
my
who goes,
luck's not as.
We could make
Ocean
brings you
line
here?
with a bunch of Americans on it. Fucking something.
Torpedoed or something.
How'd that happen? What do you think? Oh, what is it? The Lusitania?
Yeah.
And we World
Just like
War
that.
II did not want to get into the war. Wouldn't get into it. FDR is FDR.
Yeah.
He started to allegedly provoke Japan into fucking with us. We embargoed them. We stopped trading with them.
Or giving them the steel they
We started
needed.
threatening them on the side, like giving China some shit, going, giving China money and help, and going,
Mayhap you
those
should speak with
motherfuckers
Selena
down. I don't
before
like
we
sushi
depart.
anyway, bitch.
He thinks you'll find him in the inn.
Australia tells America 3 days before, according to this film,
According
that,
to something.
hey, these motherfuckers are getting together quite a large force in the Pacific.
As a matter of
They
fact,
are, and they're heading towards
curious
what?
thing. One of my former masters chose to hire only women. I wonder why.
Hey, make me some muffins.
I'll be sure to keep that in mind.
We in the war, and this bank needs this to happen so that we can support all sides. All sides. I mean, they had this thing where
This is generally used as a material.
Roosevelt had a company that was involved.
Different
with the company that
combinations
was
of
making
materials
Cyclone
result
B
in different
and
creations.
all that shit, and they couldn't make Cyclone B, or they couldn't make something that FDR company had patented. They was lending them money to do that, and they gave them $20 million for this and that, and then all on interest. They were lending us money to fight our war. We were lending ourselves money to fight our war on interest. Fast forward to Vietnam. The reason we got to Vietnam was to attack the shit
I will protect you.
fucking collapsed.
I knew
That was enough.
This thing that you move on to, right? You might move on to the Gulf of Tonkin without really talking about Lusitania.
we ought not tarry, but deliver what we have retrieved post-haste.
Wait, no. Let's keep talking about the fact that we may have sunk the ship with people on it. Can we talk about that? No. We just keep moving.
Ingredients are plentiful hereabouts.
Shall we see if there's aught to be found while we're here?
It's not an argument. It's not Illuminati. It's a goddamn lie. But we fought it anyways. It's a part of history, and we go, we fought it.
Yeah.
I would have preferred not to have to fight so soon, but at least I know I am up to the challenge.
Try not to get hit, lest all that thing
Now, we can argue the engines disappearing at the Pentagon. We can argue this, and we can argue the spots of the way the buildings is going.
agree. I have to go. You go. But I'm saying the climate of what's happening is the same as the other three. Why can't we think that this shit could happen? It's Building 7 is a million. I just watched 70 pictures of Building 7.
I can't wait to find out what's inside.
It didn't have structural damage.
Huzzah! What a team we make, arisen.
Including the same exact way as a demolition, a planned demolition, the way it fell. There's people that say, now, I know how you feel about it.
Yeah, you know,
I you back and forth
It was well
about
worth the effort of
because we're
breaking
both
it.
going off what we believe. We didn't go out there with, you know, our meters or anything like that. I'm repeating some shit. You repeating some shit what you feel. So I'm just stepping back going, historically, the country would do some fucked up shit so that it can lend itself money for war. And here's the Vietnam War that they're comparing to the
Shit.
is sustained. The Vietnam War was never supposed to be.
It is about time we pressed on, wouldn't you say, Master?
On and on and on. And so I could keep lending myself money at interest and keep taking money out your baby's asshole.
The only thing I can throw in as far as the 9/11 thing goes.
Avoid blaming any cost to arisen. You can be doused in oil.
Fucking working building. That these workers came in and wired these fucking buildings with explosives because you know what that takes? It takes an empty building. It takes jackhammering
Stay with me,
of
Arisen.
cement
Wait a minute.
structure that a secretary is looking at.
Excuse me, what are you doing with all that for?
There's nothing. I can't believe that. And this was structural damage. When the two towers fell, it threw all kinds of shit into there. It was on fire for a while. All I'm saying is, I don't believe there's a conspiracy that America planted bombs there. But here's the only thing I
Let me agree with you on this thing. This is the thing
That's
that
cool.
makes me not believe in aliens.
Take this.
All right.
It is something I found. I wanted you to have it.
Food, the level of secrecy that a construction worker would have to have, right, to do that is my, like, and to be logical, I go, Jesus, that doesn't make any sense that a guy would go, yeah, all right, listen, I agree. The deception that there's aliens somewhere in a building that fucking Johnny and Harry the Boo are guarding against us.
Yeah.
Makes me go,
I think he's telling his chick.
yeah, somebody knows.
Yeah.
He is in this motherfucking building, sweetie. I believe that, but there are, the fact is that in order to pull off all the shit that's happening, you have to have the help of the people. We for some reason, we have to agree to fuck each other over. And it's not far-fetched that a person
I'll gather these now.
has been on the
It
phone
would be a shame to
and
forget
said
their
to you,
location when we need them
yeah,
most.
Yeah, hi. Listen, I can't. My kid is dying. I don't have insurance. Yeah, it's $1,500 a month. I only make $750 a fucking week.
Yeah, well, that's
Sorry.
1,500.
It is a reality that people, in some form or fashion, will fuck other people really bad.
But here's the only thing I could even wrap my mind around that perhaps,
That's everything
like in the
assembled.
past,
A
might
job
have
well done,
happened.
if I do say so
There
myself.
was a plot by extremist, Islamic
Do you need
extremists to do what they tried to do in the early 90s, bring down the towers.
This is from Sir Geoffrey, is it?
And
Let's have a look then.
perhaps somebody did know that this was going to go down.
That they let it go down
and they let it
because the big thing
He
is
wants
go
songs
down.
as well, does he?
NORAD
Why should I
has
have
a
to do all
10-minute,
this on my own?
5 to 10
And make
minute
haste?
response time
I would- well,
to this type
go
of shit.
on.
We should
And
meanwhile
NORAD
asking ourselves,
You had an
what is
80-minute response. Like
And
NORAD,
how
I won't even
NORAD
go for that.
was shut down. Like NORAD they didn't send planes. They didn't send.
I won't even go for that because shit's supposed to work a certain way, and we found out, as far as the government goes, shit don't work as fast as it's supposed to. We
fucking go and fight any war that they told us to fight.
Right, but I don't think if somebody did know about this attack beforehand, and there were FBI agents and stuff that said, look, this guy's taking fucking flying adolescents, there's suspicious. That's documented.
Right.
But I don't think anyone thought it was going to be as fucked up as it was. If a couple of planes flew into some buildings and the fire department ran up and put them out, and they found out, look at these terrorist motherfuckers trying to bring down the towers. They killed such and such people. Let's go to war. I don't think anyone thought both of those fucking towers were falling down.
But look at
and buildings around it.
And again, that's when we get into logistics of all of that.
Yeah.
Ultimately, let's look at what happened. The president, now, it's essentially a dictatorship when it comes to declaring war. It used to be Congress.
Oh, Congress.
Now the president, that fear
We are none of us alike in vocation.
That is most fortuitous.
I see it as a glad thing. We are well poised to supplement each other's strengths.
Again, not to go back and forth about whether 9/11 we did it or some crazy shit, but the fact is that ultimately it moves closer to New World Order.
The point I think you guys are both missing, like, the towers didn't really need to fall down to get the point across.
Right.
Just having, the airline
How goes it?
crashing into
Have you
two
gathered
big
everything on
buildings
the
in New York
list
City
yet?
would have done the job.
I don't think
It
anyone
would have
thought
been
that would happen.
Why not? It would have been enough to get a war going.
I fucking disagree.
That's just like the ocean liner going down. That's like holy,
Haven't you anything for me yet? Well, you best get to it then.
That's why I
That
think
didn't sink
How
and so
goes
many
it?
people didn't die.
Have you gathered everything on the list
3,000
yet?
people died.
Oh,
People are still dying from all that horse
Sure.
shit in the air.
it made it easier. But I think it, just having the planes crash into the buildings would have been good enough to go with your theory that you laid out beautifully. How we're like a war economy.
Well, if those planes,
Haven't
if
you
the
anything
buildings
for me?
didn't
Well, you
fall,
best
if we
get
would have
to it then.
rebuilt those holes, if the building was
You
still
don't think
be
that
standing tall with muscles. I think watching those buildings fall.
But you don't think that would have been enough for us to go to? Wow, I think so. I certainly think so.
I think the vision, the
You think
visual.
they
of
really
that,
needed
yeah,
the buildings to come down.
big. Pearl Harbor was big. The vision of Pearl Harbor, big. The Japs flying over, attack everybody. Holy mother, we were attacked.
Why did the planes hit so high then?
Oh, they couldn't go on the street. It was still those buildings that were 15 stories high.
They still had a little room.
We'd best report
They definitely
back.
had some room to
I
hit
I mean,
lower.
let's be honest.
The lower they hit,
They
the
were
more
giant
speed.
airplanes. The fact that they
Right.
both hit their target,
But the lower they hit,
was pretty fucking amazing.
the lower they hit, more people
Brilliant.
would die,
I knew I could
whether
do
the,
it.
the buildings fall or
Now
not.
look at
Take
your
Bobby
theory.
Egan back to
Why
the
didn't it hit
encampment
bigger,
now.
right? Why didn't it hit higher? And the building still collapsed. See, this is what I'm saying. We can go into space age, like really theories, but I'm just looking at, the Gulf of Tonkin is a lie. The reason we went into Vietnam was a goddamn lie. That's what I'm saying. Is that just add it up a little bit in terms of, I know this Illuminati people don't understand, but the Bilderberg group.
Bilderberg group.
The Bilderberg group.
I'll call it the Bilderberg group.
And all of this shit is just that you can't think that something's not going on.
Yeah, it's not what it is on the surface.
Like, you can't think something.
I'm way in as far as that stuff goes.
I mean, that's all. I mean, we can go back and forth with, like, that's what I'm saying. That's where, okay, to get really, like, black about it, that's where they want us to do is, okay, there you go. If somebody's, like, if the guy's going, with the long cigar and the twisty fucking mustache is sitting there going, they might, these guys are fucking talking about it. And then me and you, we get into this thing about why do planes hit high? They go, talk about,
Oi, many thanks. As I hear it, anyway, you've been a great help.
like, that's what I'm saying, the whole
Our
idea.
efforts
Yeah, yo.
resupplied and Sir Geoffrey with one
I am attentive and loyal, and prefer to remain by your side. In battle, I shall follow your lead and prioritize support.
Where the one in PA was going.
Right.
That was pretty damn impressive that day.
But ultimately,
They got the
France owns America.
sure. They got the grand finale with the Bill here. but
This ladder can take us to fancy a
they
gander.
had enough to go and start a war.
That's possible,
in the
because,
Middle East.
but again, think about this, and that's not even a question that we need to ask, like, in terms of government.
Because I'm with Ann with the whole.
That's a people question.
I'm with Ann with the whole demolition thing. But then you got someone on the phone.
Do you think it's a good enough?
Someone on the phone said
What?
Just the planes hitting was
Just
good
to
enough.
hit. Yeah, you know why? We were out for blood when they blew up the basement, and and it didn't bring the towers down.
And which they said
Always
is
a
the reason
pleasure.
they didn't do it then is because wait a minute. Only 6 people died during that one.
Right.
They said we can't get in there like that. No
kidding.
But what started changing these laws was not 9/11.
Yeah, it was the 1992, was it?
No, your boy, the white boy.
There are useful ingredients to be gathered here, I'll wager.
McVeigh.
No harm in picking a few.
It's 168 people plus children in the building.
Yeah.
It made a domestic terrorism, but it started changing the laws, which was starting to unfold for us to be afraid enough to lose our civil liberties, to just let the government do what they need to do.
Well, we can't have this blown up again, so the government says they have a way to prevent it, so let them do it. But it's taking away some of your rights.
Okay?
I don't use those rights that much.
Yes.
Those aren't the rights I use a lot. I use freedom of speech. I use that every day. Well, the good news, we found his, passport.
There's a shorter path we might take now. Allow me to show you.
Listen to me. Just
I love this thing. Okay.
fucking reality person.
Yeah.
The fucking plane was eviscerated. The
Would you mind coming over here?
eviscerated. People were eviscerated. But they found his passport, Muhammad Azad's passport, in the rubble. What was it in his top? and his titty blew off intact. And here's his fucking passport.
He was in the front of the plane.
He was in the plane, just blew out.
Then I shall remain by your side.
This obstacle shan't get the better of us. There must be a way to remove it. Ranged attacks are my speciality, Master. Shall I assist?
Here he is.
Here's the guy.
I understand.
But he was on the plane, and he had a fucking passport. They know exactly who done what. It was Muhammad. I'm not hiding out now going, oh, thank God.
Anthony, if I lit you on fire,
Tis strangely quiet hereabouts.
find your license
Where?
unscathed, it'd be melted. It'd be something. The entire downtown was destroyed. But we found this motherfucker's passport.
What does that mean?
Meaning that, okay, we have to go in conspiracy world.
What does it mean?
Somebody takes this fucking table here.
We might make the fruit robber into ourselves, or purchase some at Bruno's apothecary in Mel.
Where's Muhammad?
Follow me, Master. I shall guide you to the location.
People that on that list to this day that are
Someone
alive.
who knows
Yeah,
the
that's
zone.
crazy.
But why is it crazy if they're saying it? You see this crazy if you don't believe it.
I want to know where they are.
What is the dude that said in 2001?
Oh, that guy.
I saw him. I know. In the Telegram. He's some fucking guy. They said, here's a picture. The guy said, that's a picture of my son who's alive, 10 years younger than what he is now. And the guy's like, that's me, 10 years younger. And then we go like this. Yeah. Listen, that's what, see, ultimately my thing is, can we stop?
I'll turn
for
you
second
into a pincushion.
and not let the next thing go on before we go, no. I'm not allowing you to move on till you tell me why Donald Rumsfeld is good pals with Saddam Hussein and Osama bin Laden.
Pray, follow me.
But I'm saying, can you tell me, can you go from the point where we got involved with all this oil shit from the entire thing from Iran, the original Iran hostage crisis was about oil and about the Ayatollah and about that shit.
It was also about Muslims.
To the point where, here's the thing, where we stop. The whole, this thing that...
Goblins, Master!
They come here.
We supplied them. Same thing with Osama bin Laden. They were fighting
Over
the
so
fucking
soon?
shit
Why, we seem to have come through unscathed.
We mustn't allow ourselves to become complacent. Take each trial as it comes.
The Afghanis, a shitload of fucking.
Well, what I'm saying during this, what you're talking about is what I'm saying is this: me and you were friends doing fucked up shit. Now we're not friends. Now my war against you is not personal. It's something that just happened by the way. The fact is, we were buddies doing fucked up shit. Now, I gotta die, my kid gotta die, I gotta jump out of windows and shit, because me and you are no longer friends. So there's a lot of collateral damage, because I want a piece of your funky ass because you fucked me over. That's what I mean, is that this shit is some personal vendetta shit that's involving everybody and money and it's like, hey, Anthony, man, give me that money you owe me. Nope.
This lad looks sturdy and it's plausible.
After you,
Kill
Risen.
Anthony. All right, no, we gotta go kill this nigga.
Say,
Why? Oh,
got some fruit labyrinth for me?
We gotta go fuck you up. From the Libertania. I'm gonna
Oh,
fuck you up.
well, if you do pick some up, you know where to find me.
Over here.
Well, damn. Bill Burr group started. Bill Burr. And you're like 4 or 5 movies in.
Man, my eyes
I had to,
my face,
Oh,
man.
like I said, I had to stop because the dreams were like fucked up.
I'm going to do my studying this evening.
I tried to fucking
the
call you
Obama
to tell your wife
deception.
the
I had a
Obama
party
deception.
going on from Friday fucking afternoon until like midnight last night when I finally was like, I gotta go to bed. Partying over. That was just partying.
Watch that shit today when you get a chance, man. Because I thought it was interesting. Because I know you're not a Illuminati guy,
Yeah.
but you are a non-Obama guy.
And I like
And the fact that
seeing
maybe
all the sides.
The conspiracy. I wanted to see what your take was that Obama's now seem to be
Sucked into this whole thing
and taking and the conspiracy of why they might be.
We're
Hello
here.
again, sir.
Do you think it was before
Say,
or
have you
after
brought some fruit
his
labyrinth
campaign?
for me?
And his election?
I haven't
Do you think
much to
as
offer
he's
in
campaigning, he knew, all right, this is the situation I'm going to make? Or he was
Henry
elected and then
Kissinger,
they
they
were
said
like,
Henry Kissinger gave him his first job out of college. And Henry Kissinger was being interviewed. And he was just like, Henry Bilderberg Kissinger.
Very good.
According to the movie.
Yeah, I don't think there's a huge surprise. I think if you're going for the presidency, and if some of this stuff is true from the film, that Obama's more than aware as he's moving forward in his career. That I don't think there's the big surprise. You know, there might be a few things he hears about, but then, you know, he gets in there and they go, yeah, you were right. This is how it is. Ta-da. Because he definitely looks different now, man.
He looks like he said,
He's like, wow, what did I
somebody
get
told him
myself into?
he was the HNIC. He sat in the room and then somebody said, hey, man.
Yeah.
He sat there, he popped his collar, and somebody smacked the shit out of him and said, you ain't running this.
right.
And he was like, oh, my
shit.
God. Oh,
Yeah.
picture, you see a Rihanna swelled up?
That's Obama.
That's really Obama's photo. Somebody beat that shit out of Obama and told him, motherfucker, you ain't running this. Alan Greenspan might be. He came in the room and said,
That's why when Bush, Obama walked the Bushes out to the helicopter, you know, Bush was like, hey, you have no idea.
Are thief shit.
You have no idea until you go back in there.
Back to drinking.
Right. He did a big shoot. Thank God that's over with. Obama steps in the step, he's all ready to go. Walks back into that White House and like Bill Burr said,
Yep.
they showed him the basement.
Yep.
Oh, before you do anything else, we're going down to the basement for a few. We got a couple things to show you.
Give me your BlackBerry, nigga.
Because when he became president, they said he briefed him on national security and this and that, all these things he needed to now know as the president. And I went there and I go, wow, that shows that someone else is actually in charge, because they now have to show him what it's all about.
Yeah, who's in charge? The Federal Reserve Bank is in charge.
Right.
These motherfuckers,
These
right. But Bush people
motherfuckers.
say white people. If we know what we mean.
Yeah, Bush is long. Bush was long gone, and it was actually on the news. You know, that
Let me get a pillow, Joseph.
Obama's learning, you know, everything he needs to know to be the president. So who are those people telling him how to act as the president? Wouldn't that mean that these people have more knowledge and more power than the actual president?
That's too much.
People that stay. Anytime someone, the boss needs a job, people leave. Like, bosses don't just come in and everybody was the boss when he was still the boss. There's people there that he can't fire. Like, hey, who are you? I don't know this motherfucker. If I buy a McDonald's franchise, all you motherfuckers is fired.
By the way, I'm getting a report here
From
from
our daddy.
our researcher. Todd's passport was not found. It was Satam al-Suqami's. It was found. It's misreported by many. 10 minutes of actual research will confirm.
And who's this?
Satam al-Suqami.
But who's this that I'm supposed to go, okay, that's the thing?
The point is, I think the point is that regardless of whose passport it was, the fact that so many facts are misrepresented and reported as that.
Okay.
It happens so much on any, you know, it's just whatever you want.
I'm saying, this is why I said, okay, this is where it can implode the conversation.
Yeah.
Where it goes to, okay,
Fine.
Now was the Gulf, what's the shit again?
The Gulf of Tonkin.
Tonkin, was that a lie? It's official, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much
known. Let's go where to go.
Yeah.
That we go to war based on lies. Okay? Now we get into whether this is that and Hubli Muhammad wasn't Hubli. It was Gupata.
And now the guy with the big cigar is laughing.
Yeah, no, it's cool, good. But I believe there's a system that's going on that we're just sitting there going, okay, we're going to argue about whether the planes hit higher or not. That's the people that run that. J.P. Morgan, allegedly. No, that's how fucking stupid we are. And we will argue that instead of going, hold on,
right.
The Federal Reserve Bank? The country owes money to a bank? Like, I'm to a fucking bank? This is fucking crazy.
And you know what's even more amazing is that you'd think in this day and age, there's so much information out there on the internet that it would be harder to perpetrate these little conspiracies by the government and by the world order. But it's easier because there's so many distractions in the internet. There's so many ways to just look at the details instead
and another thing, never forget this, Anthony. When you look at that money, you look at the pyramid. The pyramid is key. The bottom of the pyramid is all the people. The top is these couple of people. What happened? The difference between now and 500 years ago is that it was the guy, then the people. The people were right outside this fucker's door. At some point, they had to create stuff for the masses. Like, hey, come here, man. Look at this fucking piece of shit. You don't want to have your feet as dirty as him, right? Well, come on, I got this new shit to clean your feet, give you some feet cleaner, give you some back warmer, get you in a house, get you in a bed, get you feeling good, and you go, hey, man, you want to be down with me? Or, you know what, run this fucker. So you never forget that we are willing, as people, to fuck other people. To be a little bit better, to live a little bit better. They're talking about this new...
Somebody wants your attention, sir.
They went into global warming.
Yeah.
Big hug. I want to love Daddy again. I don't know. That hug. Can you tell me what that hug is so I don't feel like it's nothing? Okay, fair enough.
Fair enough.
Okay. The global warming is the moisture, right? And this is what they're saying on the thing, but it makes a lot of sense. What they're doing is they're taxing everything that has to do with so-called us fucking up the environment. Cars, trains, this, that, smoke. And what they're doing with that is they're taxing anything that developed countries already have. But what that does is when they're canceling out the global warming, it stops underdeveloped countries
from ever developing cars.
They have to start with the shitty coal.
They have to stop. Exactly. They have to stay in huts while we go and make deals to own the whole underdeveloped country. They want motherfucking with ladies with the titties down to their knees and fucking some guy with his balls hanging down to his knees.
A stick on his dick.
To come out, right? And to stop developing those countries so that they can just go in and the third world countries are the richest in everything. So they got the diamonds, they got the fucking this, the minerals, and they just go fuck yourself. So they're saying, global warming is a farce because Gore, I'm just saying what they're saying. Gore has a bunch of companies that's going to benefit from the taxing of global warming. That if we go on a crusade against global warming, he'll get... So
he isn't this nice guy trying to help out the world. He's this fucking underhanded scumbag just trying to fleece the third world nation.
It's good for his business and it's good for business in general, global warming. Kind of use that same theory as a war economy, a global warming economy. It's a lot of money. If people buy into this whole global warming thing, it brings in a lot of money, right? Right?
Again, because I think you can just get blown out the water by someone that just...
No, I just, the one part I believe in that whole war economy thing. Absolutely. War is good for business. It always has been. Always has been. So global warming could be another way to kind of take what war has been able to do for America, and it starts another revenue stream.
Yeah,
another revenue stream. Now we all have to go out and get our, we got to be green. Yeah, we got to go green.
Yeah.
So you guys can watch that.
Freaky freak time.
Right here. O'Neal.
So you could just stand and let them be there.
I know my dad was there. I know my dad was there.
In that movie?
Don't fucking talk to me about...
Maybe. There's a possibility he might be in the background somewhere. Possibility. So I want to make sure when I do see it, he's right there. So I can ask him some questions.
Your answers are crazy.
My nigga, you was going crazy. Hold on, I was 97, nigga. Me and nigga, I was there. You left us at home. No babysitter, nigga. Oodles and noodles and TV.
He's questioned
That was the babysitter.
President Obama.
You out there smacking
He has
ass.
questioned 9/11. He's a listener of the broadcast. Patrice O'Neal coming up. We'll talk about a host of issues, including the big Ground Zero mosque diversion, the burn the Quran situation. We'll talk about all with Patrice O'Neal in the second and third hour. We're going to go through a lot of big developments concerning the inside job that was 9/11 9 years ago.
I know he was there. That's not a question. Can't even deny that.
Is tomorrow. The police state news I have today is incredible as well.
You're a wild boy,
I
man.
remember seeing Homeland Security head Ridge
You're a
7 years
wild
ago
boy.
say that they would have basically the same type of checkpoints in shopping malls, trains,
Doing the
buses,
Tootsie
and
Roll
on
smacking
highways
ass. I'd
that
be
they
like,
had.
goddamn.
That's just there to train you to submit to tyranny. And here it is out of NBC, Philadelphia. Random pat-downs turned Patco into police state. That's the Philadelphia headline out of NBC, not Alex Jones. And the police are quoted as saying, we can do anything we want. We can strip search you. We can do anything we want. We are going to. This is the new America. Has nothing to do with terrorism. And here's a key article by Kurt Nimmo today up on Infowars.com. Hamilton and Keene call for domestic terrorism agency for domestic terror groups. And of course, over 90% of the funding and training has nothing to do with turban-wearing men in Central Asia. It's all for gun owners, libertarians, conservatives, anti-war activists, basically anybody that isn't controlled by the false left-right two-party system. So the domestic Gestapo now being publicly announced. And a federal court has ruled that citizens can be secretly arrested, tortured, disappeared. So 100% official Nazi Germany or Soviet Russia announcements being made. Now, let's see them try to actually carry it out. But this is a rogue criminal government run by private corporations that have already stolen tens of trillions of dollars in the last 2 years, and they're just getting started. So all of that is coming up. And dealing with the economy, a lot of really important news on that front. It's now begun They're now having treasury sales, and record numbers of people and governments and institutions are refusing to buy them. So the Federal Reserve is having to buy treasury notes basically from itself. Treasuries tumbled following weak 30-year sale, 30-year bonds. Geithner says China needs to let market drive up the yuan. We'll go through all of that economic news as well today. And again, we have other news articles saying, well, it is a recovery for the banks. They're making record profits, but everybody else overall is losing money, losing their jobs, having their pay being cut.
No, I gotta get to the store.
Unemployment, of course, is surging.
That's even with the government's
numbers that they're using. A lot of folks are calling and emailing saying, where have I been the last 3 days? Conspiracy theory. Jesse Ventura's conspiracy theory.
Now, they give you a warning before they start billing you.
They give you a warning. Also appear in the show. Can't really talk about what we discovered in Georgia or in Louisiana, but I'll just leave it at that. I've been on a secret mission the last 3 days with Jesse Ventura. He is such a great guy and is really, really getting fully educated about the New World Order. I'll just leave it at that. But coming up in October, before the show kicks off, you'll hear all the exclusives here on this radio broadcast with Jesse Ventura. He may be coming to town and be in studio with us ahead of the television show coming up in about a month and a half. But they're still out there investigating all over the United States and even other places. So I've been out of town. I appreciate Paul Joseph Watson filling in for 2 days. We're back live on this Friday edition. And coming up this Sunday, I'll be live 4 to 6 p.m. for the abbreviated Sunday transmission. Patrice O'Neill. On the other side of this quick break, I'm Alex Jones. GCNlive.com is the network website. Stay with us. All right, coming up in the second and third hour, we're getting into the 10th anniversary or 9th anniversary of the 9/11 attacks. I'm going to get into the economy, incredible police state developments as well. But in this first hour, Patrice O'Neill is in studio with us. He's a very successful stand-up comedian, radio personality, and actor. He's been on a number of comedy specials, Showtime, HBO, Comedy Central Presents, in addition to guest appearance on television shows such as Late Night with David Letterman, and on and on. Ellen DeGeneres Show, The Office. His stand-up comedy focuses on topics such as American politics, race and race relations, sexuality, and censorship. He is also a regular visitor in the Opie and Anthony program on XM Radio. Patrice is currently on tour and will be performing this Friday and Saturday night here in Austin, Texas, where we're based at the Cap City Comedy Club. So if it isn't already sold out, you can probably get down there and see him tonight and tomorrow. Patrice O'Neill, good to have you here in studio with us. Man, it's awesome. It's good to have you here. I mean, I had seen you on television a few times before, but then I had seen some clips and heard some clips of you on the Opie and Anthony show that reaches millions and millions of people. And you were, very early on, right when the Obama deception came out, Obama was still like God. You were saying people need to see this Obama deception, and you were saying, hey,
how long did that? 13 minutes?
This shatters the left-right paradigm. They were saying, what, Patrice?
Oh God!
Hey, look, you can't. I think there's an instinct to people who believe in New World Order.